LeBron is set to play in his 9th NBA Finals tonight. He's dominated this postseason, averaging 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists per game, all at the age of 33. And apparently, LeBron doesn't see himself slowing down. Take a listen.
They've always kind of talked like the NBA prime is like, 27 to like 31, 32. And that's, if you're lucky, you get to that point. I don't know. I've just never really, bought into that. I've never bought into like a ceiling either. You guys always talk to me about, what's your ceiling, and I've always, kind of told you guys that I don't really have a ceiling. I want to just try to maximize, as much as I can, and be as good as I can.
Shannon, how much longer can he play at this level?
I believe he can play at the level that he's playing at right now currently, probably 2 years. And then even a year after that, I still believe he can be a top 10 player. I think what's happening, Skip, is that with the advent of nutrition and training and what guys know now, guys not only do they enter into their prime sooner, they get to stay there longer. And if you take football, Skip, you see these quarterbacks, you see Brady, you see Manning, you see Breeze, because they play a position and the way they play it, athleticism is not required. So they get to, they use more of their mind. But as a skill position player, every once in a while you'll get a Jerry Rice that can play 20 years at a skill. But as your athleticism starts to deteriorate, you can't play at that level. LeBron James realized, and Michael Jordan, Kobe realized this. Michael Jordan said, you know what? There's a good chance as I start to age, I'm not going to be able to take off from the free throw line. Kobe's like, you know what? I'm not going to be able to be as acrobatic as I once was in my early 20s. So let me develop something else. They went to that fall-away jumper. They got better at their footwork game. And so now they could do other things than glide through the air. So they were able to stay at the top of their game for a lot longer than what we had seen previous athletes. We've never seen anybody like LeBron James. So basically he's Magic Johnson with Karl Malone's body. So, and where he was always only just freight training his way to the basket, he's like, he went that offseason, he worked with Hakeem Olajuwon. He worked on his footwork. And so now, that turnaround, Skip, you see him had that thing going against Toronto. He had it going against Boston. And when he gets that going, hey, all you do is just look at your coach. I got nothing. And he's improved his three-point shot. So, Skip, with the way he spends and the way he takes care of his body, estimated somewhere between $1.5 and $2 million a year annually. Skip, he's spending more on his body than, say, 10, 15 years ago, guys made in salary.
That's true.
So they couldn't spend that kind of money. And a lot of time, it's getting better, Skip. Technology is getting better. What we know, how we treat certain things. And knock on wood, he's never, ever had an injury that put him down for a substantial amount of time. We know as guys, Magic started pulling his hamstring. Mailman started having problems with his knees. Guys start having problems. But through a blessing of God and the way he trains and the way he takes care of himself, Skip, he's been able to avoid that. So I believe he can stay right where he is currently for another 2 years. And then you'll start to see all of a sudden he'll be a top 5, top 10 player. But I believe for 2 more years, he can be the LeBron James that we see right now. Also depending on where he goes, because he might go somewhere where this LeBron James is not needed.
That's true. Very possibly. I'm going to hit your last point first about his durability. He is the most durable superstar athlete I have ever seen in all of my career. But I'm going to also knock on wood because it
defies law. There's no reason.
It scares me to hear him even talk openly about it, because you don't dare those injury gods or however, what you want to believe in, because sometimes it can happen completely out of your control, where I say, that's unfair.
Right.
And I'm going to knock on wood one more time. He's been blessed, and he said he's been blessed with to be available. Yeah. Okay? Well, he has.
Because Larry Nance fell into his knee, Skip.
That was pretty scary.
Yeah.
Pretty scary. And he limped away from it, and then he seemed fine.
Ask Steph Curry. He had the same thing.
I agree.
McGee
Kevin Durant a year ago. He had the same thing, and I don't know, he missed like 30 games.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So, knock on wood, the third time, I hope he can just last that way, because if you don't ever have a major injury, you're so far ahead of the game.
Right.
And obviously, each new generation of athlete is figuring out how to last longer than the previous generation lasted. And he's got it all down to a science, not to mention vibranium, which is it's new on the market, right? Yeah, you go to Wakanda and get that. It's a big deal, right? Okay. So the other thing LeBron has figured out, and the reason I think he can last even longer than you think at this high level, he's playing the best offensive basketball of his career. It's not even close, thanks to your turnaround you talked about. It's almost Jordan-esque because Michael had to resort to that at the sort of the winter of his career.
Kobe.
Yeah, Kobe had to. But LeBron now does pick his spots. He now rests on defense when he feels like he can get away with resting.
Right.
Well, I've never seen anybody do that because back to Michael Jordan, at 34, a year older than LeBron is now at 33, Michael made first team all defense. So he was fighting his tail off on the defensive end. He was not picking his spots. And all the way to that closeout game 6 at Utah, the greatest game he ever played, he had 4 steals in that game. So obviously he was fighting hard on defense, including the game-turning steal at the end of the game that led to his game-winning shot. But LeBron has learned to pick his spots. He was 309th during the regular season in individual defensive win shares. He's now 41st in the playoffs. Not bad, but it's not. LeBron, if he chose to, he could be top 5. If he chose to, I still think he's capable of being a top 5 defender, but he's saying, no, I don't want to waste myself. I don't want to spend myself on defense. And the other thing that LeBron has done, occasionally he'll just take a break. Like a year ago, he just took a break, and I think he went to Miami for
That was his first year back. That was his first year back in
2
Cleveland.
2 years ago. But he'll do this on occasion where he just says, I need to recharge. Okay, fine. So he's not missing because of injury the way most guys do. He just needs to take a break. Okay, fine. So he's picked his spots well, which is why at the rate he's playing defense or not playing defense going forward, I don't see how he can't play for 4 more years at this offensive level, which is sensational.
But here's the thing, Skip. The difference between what LeBron doing now and with Jordan, they didn't have this amount of possessions. So the game is faster. The game is sped up. He's doing more. Nobody's had the workload because remember, he's the only guy to lead his team in scoring and assists for 15 straight years. That's 8 more than anybody that we can even think of. So he's asked to do more. So he can't generate that workload. Go out there, sit in the chair for 41 minutes.
I don't know about that.
No, Skip, nobody's doing that.
But I can show you Michael had the ball in his hands more than LeBron. Consistently had it because his usage rate was consistently higher than LeBron.
But here's the thing, though, Skip.
He's just looking to score the basketball.
Right, that's what Jordan was doing. LeBron is looking to get guys better shots. Scottie Pippen was leading the team in assists. So when you and you have Dennis Rodman averaging 15, 16 rebounds a game, I mean, if LeBron says, you know what, I know Kevin Love's going to get me 15 or 16 a game. Or I know Tristan, Double T, is going to get me 15 or 16. So now all I need is 2 to 3. That changes the dynamic. If you remember Game 3 in Boston, Skip, those guys came out playing well. You see how LeBron was playing defense when he realized, I don't have to worry about getting all these rebounds. I don't have to worry about gathering all these assists. So now I can give you a little bit more effort on the defensive end. But when you're...
I thought he set the tone from the tip on defense.
But when you play 46 minutes and you play 48 minutes and you got to give them 46 and 35 and 15 and 12 and 9, you're not sitting in that chair for 48 minutes on both ends of the floor. Nobody, they hadn't made him yet. Even Braun on vibranium. And he's full, he's stocked and ready to go. Because like I said, I believe he's going to average somewhere between 35 and 40 with a triple dub to bring us home.
But you underestimate how hard it is to score 45 points the way Jordan did and play defense in Game 6 at Utah.
If all you got to do is just score a point, now, because Jordan...
It takes a lot of effort, energy when you're beating 2 defenders to the rack.
That's what, think about what he does. And most of his, you're like, well, why is he so gassed? Because he's not getting his points as efficient and as effortless as Steph Curry or Kevin Durant. Because one step to the side, and here goes Kevin Durant raising up over everybody. Steph Curry is running off. Now, Steph is running. Steph is not playing any defense. Klay Thompson has the toughest assignment. The hardest.
Oh, but in playoff defense, Steph's ranked second in the whole playoffs.
Yeah, that's because of Klay. I mean, if you guard the fourth best player, he ain't guarding the best player.
I thought Steph played James Harden pretty well. They kept getting switched off.
They kept him in pick and roll. They kept him winning that. And that's how the Cavaliers beat them. The Cavaliers kept, like, whoever Steph Curry was guarding, that's who Kyrie and LeBron put in the pick and roll.
Well, obviously, he would be the weaker link.
Yes.
I don't think he's a weak link on defense. He's just not as good as Clay or Draymond on defense.
And that's the thing. But, Skip, if you really look at it, none of these guys are playing. I don't care who you are. If you're the best player, these let's say the top 10 players, be it AD, KD, Bron, Giannis, whomever you want, nobody can stop them when they want to do what they want to do. You just try to contain and try to limit as much damage as you possibly can. That's what makes them great, Skip, because they can go one-on-one and take any game over at any given time. And so LeBron being able to do this, like I said, knock on wood, he hasn't been hurt, Skip. They take better care of themselves. These top guys are not burning the candles at both ends, I don't think. Now, some of them might do a little something. Now, how LT was able to do what he did and still do what and raise hell as much hell he did on the field, Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah.
How he was able to do that, Skip, and close the bar down, sweep the club up, and then go straight to practice and still raise heck on the practice field and give it to you on Sunday. But these guys now, Skip, they know more. They eat better. They take better care of themselves. They got hyperbaric chambers. A lot of these guys, they probably sleep in that thing. Tiger has his whole house hyperbaric proof. So he's like he's in Vail, Colorado every single day. And that's what these guys are doing. They're spending the amount of money that guys made in salary to take care of themselves. And so now they're going to play longer and they're going to be better. And with LeBron's ceiling, we didn't know what Jordan's ceiling was. So everybody says, okay, what's your ceiling? Everybody wants to say, well, this is how the best get it at his position, so this is what he can be. LeBron said, nah, y'all ain't ever seen nobody like me.
Yeah, but with Jordan, the reason we don't know his ceiling is I thought he had his greatest all-around year at age 34, and then he didn't play when he was 35, 36, 37, and came back at 38, 39, 40.
Well, that year I don't know, Skip. That year he had averaged 37. I don't know if you'll ever see a performance like,
I'm just talking about first team all defense. Yeah. So you brought up those quarterbacks. There is that guy up in Foxborough who just won the MVP of the National Football League at age 40, and his team is still picked to win next year's Super Bowl with a defense that's ranked by some services as 17th best in the league. So that's all on Tom Brady.
But here's the thing, though, Skip, is that because Tom Brady has never relied on athleticism, it's more likely that he plays until he's 41, 42, 43, as opposed to Cam Newton, who relies more so on athleticism than, say, just throwing the ball from the pocket and his style of play. So I believe Peyton Manning, had he not had that neck injury, I believe Peyton Manning would still be playing football right now, Skip. But
I thought he should have played another year as it was.
He couldn't. He got everything. I mean, basically at the Super Bowl, Joy, he ran out of gas in the fourth quarter with a minute to go. And it just so happens C.J. Anderson ran the ball into the end zone. He was on fumes, Skip. He had nothing left.
Okay, just remember, though, these quarterbacks take shots.
Yeah.
And obviously Cam, because he's going to run outside the pocket, is
Right.
going to take more shots than Tom Brady is.
Right.
But Tom Brady takes shots, man.
Yeah, but just imagine, Skip, if he had to run 4-4 like receivers need to be, especially when they're speed guys, and they didn't build up anything else. You see, here's the thing. Remember, we talk about Dez. He's still unsigned. When he was younger, he was so athletic.
Yep.
All the 50-50 balls, Dez was winning. Because remember, he had 3 straight years of over 1,200 yards receiving.
He did.
Now he has yet to reach 1,000 yards in any of the previous 3 seasons.
Yep.
Because athleticism starts to go, and he doesn't have a fallback pitch.
Yeah. I still say LeBron can play at this offensive level for age 34, 5, 6, and 7 for 4 more years.
That'll be year 19.
Well, and also remember, he's played 235.
Yeah!
So it's essentially, basically, an extra 3 seasons.
Seasons.
Yeah.
That's what Bron doing.
Well, he spends $2 million a year on his body. Figure it out.
I spend $200
$200?
a month. No, all these gym memberships I got 1, 2, 3. I got about 4 hours. No, I spend probably like a stack a month in membership. I got to stay right. Me and old Bron, just in case he called me, I got that jersey, Skip.
Yeah.
If Draymond start bullying him, don't be surprised. I might not be here one of these days. Draymond not posting me
Next up, Kevin Durant is favored